Hello everybody. Today we're going to try and put linear rails on Ender 3. Let's see how it goes. Alright, we have our trusty old Ender 3 Pro. A few changes since last time you'll have seen it. And put a cable chain on just the other day. We have a 3D touch sensor. It's running on a clipper on a Pi 2. We actually spin her around. Previously we put the motor mount on there. Recently put the no snag rear on it. Clips everywhere to hold the cables. This nice little guide that I'm really liking so far for feeding the filament in and clearing it past this lead screw. It works really well. Of course, we had the 2 belt tensioners. We have put the Big Tree Tech E3 Mini in it. And then we just stuck on a screen here so we can try out clipper screen. All right. Stock hot end still on it. Cheap flex plate. And the silicone risers replace the springs. Running with the sensorless homing. And I believe that is all the modifications to stock. Have all gone pretty flawless. Going to take this bed off, get this out of the way. There we go. Everything goes a running. Let's see if we can get this bed back here out of the way. Not have a lot of space to put it. Put it on top of the flowers. That will end badly. There's the 4th wheel. Where is the 4th? Oh, stuck in the actual cable strain relief. Set this guy aside. Going to lose all of that. All right. So parts wise, we have some rails. Got them off of Amazon. Haven't even opened them yet. We have the 2 no drill linear rail adapters off of Thingiverse. I'll try and include a link to them in the description. Hopefully they fit. They look like they line up with the screws. Yep. We have a linear, actually 2 of them, linear rail 30-30 alignment little jigs. We have 4 little rail stops to put at the end in the travel. And then we have a buttload of, let's see if I can get these in camera shot, 3mm nut and screw T-nuts for 30-30. Since I didn't have any, I hope these fit. If these don't fit, that puts everything on hold. But we shall see. So basically we're gonna have to remove this original bed, take the wheels off of it, put this adapter on, put the rails on here, align them, hopefully set them down, 4 screws on each side. Hopefully this is painless. All right, I have cut the tape off of this end. This is an interesting packaging. I think I got this set for $25. I think it was right around $25 off of Amazon. All right, surrounded by foam, not too bad. Sealed packaging. And quite honestly, I've never worked with linear rails. This is my first time, so I really don't know how to judge the quality. These did have good reviews. I don't know if they're lubable or anything. They are wet. So slide nice and smooth. I don't feel any play in them at all. All right. Came with stops on the end. It looks like they do have a hole for adding lubrication on each side. Maybe false. We'll find out. That's about the only thing I do know in these rails, is that they sometimes have a little hole. You can put some grease in them. Sometimes they do not. And sometimes it's a lie. All right, let's make sure this one flows freely. Sure does. They're much heavier than I expected. That adds quite a bit of weight. One of the key things I'm worried about on this was these are 300mm rails. Will they fit? Yes, it looks like they're going to clear every bracket. And the belt tensioner on the front. Awesome. So that should give me full travel. Right, first thing, let's go ahead and clean these rails off, relubricate them. I don't know much, but I know everybody on the planet recommends that. Woo! They are a little yucky. There's some AMSR for you. All right. Clean them. I'm going to use some electronics cleaner. And then I have some actually wall clipper oil. So I know that's just kind of a general grade oil, also used on sewing machines. This in here, maybe. Oh yeah, I definitely got in there. Whew, let that evaporate off. See, can y'all tell the difference in sound? There's... Right? Sounds like it's running a little cleaner to me. Sounds like it has metal on metal. Let's hit this one again. Gonna wipe it down. Oh yeah, there's still some black machining residue and oil residue on there. Right. Yeah, I know. After we wipe this down, we'll hit it with the lint-free cloth. I knew there was at least one thing I forgot to bring to the desk. Oh, yeah. Yep, these are pretty dirty. I'm just using my nail through the glove. Ah, not what we wanted. Went right past the stop. There's your first lesson in failure. Luckily, none of the ball bearings came out. There's the stop. Let's see if we can thread this back on successfully. Oh. I do not see a channel leading in from the black plastic ends into the center, like I've seen on other videos with lubricating. Ooh. I'm just going in slow. As soon as I feel some pressure, I'm just backing up slightly. Okay. That was almost a very short video. All right, that guy's back on. Hold that in place. Oh. There is a ton of gunk coming out of these grooves. Oh, yeah. I'm actually gonna check this guy again. Not as bad as the other one, but still pretty dirty. Ah, we just did it. We almost just did it again. And I was being careful. Those sound better to me. Although my voice sounds worse. There we go. That electronics cleaner worked really, really well. There's a bit of a rust spot right here on this one rail, just on this surface, which you don't feel it going over, but the finish is definitely different. Check this one. Same thing. Must be from the machining. Very interesting. All right. We're just going to flip them over. Use a little bit of this oil. I know everybody has different preferences, or I'll just use a bunch. But I am going to start with this very light oil, and then probably in about 2 weeks, we'll check it and go to something a little heavier. This back and forth times, and that end stop just popped out. Wow. I think the key is going to be rubber bands on those guys, or a piece of tape. The plus side of also using this wall oil is it's lightly going to coat all the metal that we cleaned the original shipping oil off of, so hopefully that should cut down on any rusting. I just got this thing soaked. Right. Clean off any excess that we can. Use the foam. So dirty up the desk. It's got a little bit of a rust spot. Trying to feel if it's in the bearing or the rail. It's right at the very end, too. Oh, there we go. It's worked itself out. Oh, no. It's definitely on there nice and good. Whew. This is a messy job. Go. There we go. Clean off the excess. Yeah. Definitely. We're going to run with this lighter oil for a few weeks, let it clean everything out. If there is anything left over in there, then we will hit these again. The electronics cleaner. Put a premium lubricant in there. Right. Set that way. Has anything leaked out? Nope. We'll set those down like that. Get rid of our box. Get rid of these gloves. Yeah. Grab our lint-free cloth. Right. That was supposedly the hard part. Try the rest of this. All right. Grab some Allen wrenches. I will tell you from experience, I do not recommend attempting modifications of this level on your printer unless you have a backup printer. So far, I will say the Ender 3 has been the most consistent in parts that I found online that have actually worked without having to go through a lot of revisions, but has not been that way with some of the others. It's much nicer to be able to just jump to the other printer, print off the actual part that you need once you realize you have a problem, without putting your only printer back together, going backwards, and printing the parts you need and starting all over. Just soul crushing. When it's 11:30 at night, you're like, I just want to finish this last thing and then go to bed, and you get about 95% way through the process of doing a modification and you realize it's not going to work. Or you get it all the way back together and you go to print, and that's when you realize it's not going to work. All right. I probably did not need to take that off. It's been a while since I put this tensioner on here. Thought it had T-nuts. But it is starting to feel like it is drilled out. But but that would make more sense with the double screws because I've never seen that with T-nuts. Yep, drilled out. Do. And yeah. There's one bearing. There's two bearing. Alright, that gets that out of the way. Allow us to take that off of there. And try not to pull it all the way through. There we go. Push it back just enough. Alright. So I guess I should have read the instructions a little more. Off of, where's my C-wrench? Over there. Over which screws to use on this replacement base. I've got a collection, and we'll find out. Could it be? Hey, look at that. Got lucky. I'm gonna grab the C-wrench. Oh boy, those are tight. Part of the reason I want to grab the wrench. There we go. That was much easier just to remove the nut than trying to back out the screw. Eccentric. Ooh. Should have paid attention to which side was which. It looks like one side's a little fatter. And it's offset. We'll have to line it up. See where the belt lines up. Okay. Ah. Only eccentric nuts on two sides. I was confusing myself. Sitting there thinking, the other two didn't have spacer. Now we have some spare parts. All right. So we can get this out of here, this out of here, this out of here, I believe this out of here. Put it here for now. Just so we can spill it later. Grab our two no drill adapters. Those have got to be the bottoms. Yep. So those screws definitely going to be a bit long. Does feel like it was sized for the originals. am a little concerned. I didn't even think about this. There's no real insert into these larger two holes where the offset nuts were. The eccentric nuts. Pardon me. Really needs just a bit of a spacer to hold this thing in place. Woo! So we might have to do some fine adjustments. That's going to take forever. These look and feel like 5mm, and I do have some, but they're actually longer than these. I will probably have to cut them down. Boy, that's a long screw. Right? Very much two of them in. That's very long. Try and get the other side on there. And we'll worry about getting the nuts on. Try and dry fit all this together before we tighten everything down. Really wasn't an upgrade I was planning to do right about now, but it was a good deal. And I thought, why not? We are eventually going to turn this into a switch wire, so we needed the rails anyways. So I figured, let's do it. Also having a little bit of a weird issue with my bed calibration and clipper. And this side was always low, no matter what I did. So we'll see if this makes any difference. Well, that's probably the tightest one so far. Alright, that's in. Those do actually fit in there pretty snug, even without the nut. I would not expect them to last long term, but that's really nice design in there. Should have paid attention to who actually made that mount. So they'll end up going on something like about there. So I guess now we need to get the rails on. So first off, inner jig, in stops, And we are just going to do 3 screws per rail because these are pretty short. Let's see if these actually fit and go in pretty painlessly. No, sure do not. Interesting. It looks like they need to be scaled down just a tad. Another one. Oh. Yep, that is too big. Not gonna work. So now, dang it, we have to go print some more. Luckily, there were several designs out there, so I have to find something else. So we're going to put you on pause real quick. I'm going to go find those and throw it on the other printer, like I was saying. Thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you, buddy Jesus, for having a backup printer. And we will be right back. And we're back because I'm a dumbass. It takes regular T-nuts, and I have a ton. Alright, luckily that only took a few moments. Let's come back over here. Actually, let's give you that one. Hopefully you can see everything that's going on. Try and keep my hands in the workspace. Alright, so I don't know why I thought that. Probably because it's the first time I've worked with some 4040, but yeah, don't need these guys at all. That was a waste of filament and time. It was actually the only piece that gave me any trouble on this build. These stupid T-nuts. With the other spare parts. So I have some 3mm by 8mm screws and plenty of the 3mm T-nuts. Well, just enough. I have a few left over. Need to get me some M4s and M5s so I can use up the rest of the package. So we will go ahead and put one on each end. Go ahead and take these stops out. I went ahead and put a little guide on here. It just pops on. Give us enough room, and that should keep the carriage from popping out on us. Now we're greasy. All to the floor. There we go. Those are going to be greasy as well. Greasy. I did also discover that these are going to have to be cut down. For sure. They hit right up on the rail. So we might have to pause again as I break out the Dremel and cut those down. Exciting. Alright. Let's go ahead and get one in. Hope these are the right size. Let's go ahead and also find us wrench we need. I think it's you. Let's find out. It is you. Just gonna drop everything. It's exactly what I meant to do. This back in. Almost put T-nut on upside down. There we go. We got one. Get all the way in. Yep, screw doesn't stick out. That should work. Leave it pretty far out. Let's put our other end on. There we go. T-nut. There we go. All right, and are we going to have an even center hole? No, it's going to be offset just slightly. I'm okay with that. It's not a lot of load on this guy. Last T-nut on there. Actually, I think what I'm going to try and do is that off. Not lose that guy. Pop that off. Let's try sliding it in with these already at a 90. May make it, may not. That one kind of twisted. That one's going nice. Center one's definitely there, and the end one's there. We just got one that didn't make it. Just gonna put these guys back on here. Cover the hole that we need to access. Right, feels pretty well aligned. Now, I am not sure of where these need to be in proportion to the rest of this to get the most travel. So one thing we are going to do is put this guy back on. The belt not caught. There we go. Oh, we can go all the way without bumping into that, but we also want to make sure the carriage clears. And we have these end stops that gotta go on. Is that gonna fit? Looks like that will fit right there. Just enough clearance, but I think I'm gonna come back just slightly. Right about in there. I know y'all can't see it, but what I'm looking at is this original motor mount, because this is the original motor mount, has a metal bracket right here, which actually will work as a good stop, so I may only have to put 3 on there. Feels good. Let's tighten this one up. Right, feels pretty snug. Choose the right one. Nope. Right there. Rail is not pushing off. It's what you would expect to see if the screws I used were too long, but I had a good feeling they were the right size. I did have one slightly shorter size I could try. Yep, that one was caught. Nice and snug. Oops. Go. That worked pretty well. All right, let's go ahead and put one of these stops on this side so we don't accidentally lose every ball bearing on this thing. And we spin it around, so that's exactly what I would do. I would lay it on its back and those 2 blocks would just pop right off. Let's get into here. Let's see. Let y'all see that a little better. There we go. These were not part of this design for the drill-less Y-carriage linear rail adapter. These were in a different project. These screws might be too long. Oh, no, they fit. There we go. There we go. Works nice. Looks nice. Do one on the back end. I'm so glad these regular T-nuts are going to fit. Buggered threads on something here. Don't know if it's the screw or the nut. Let's try a different nut. It was the nut. Interesting. So down one. No, y'all can't see that. Just doing the same thing to the rear. I'll spin the printer once I get this on. These I want to make sure are nice and snug, since this is going to be my rear end stop for sensorless homing. And it lines up very well with the bracket on the other side. Oh boy. All right. And that's even worse. There we go. Now we've got this heat bed still attached, and it's about to pull everything off the desk. So there it is, one on the rear, one on the front. Stop that block from going off either end. All right, let's carefully spin around, do the other side. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Better camera shot for you guys, much worse for me. Stick this on the magnet. All right. Two rubber pieces off. Grab our 3 screws. 3 T-nuts. One through this end. Whoop. That one's a little tight. It's still going. All right, and we put that other one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back. Don't drop the wrench. I'm gonna drop the wrench. I'm gonna drop the wrench. There we go. And we almost lost our block. Thank God the screw and T-nut was in there. Let's get the last one in. All right, that one's on. Wipe the oil off of this. Oil off of this. Go. Put our guides on here. This time, not right over the screws. Let's see, this actually needs to go this way. So I'm flipping the rail like that. Right. That actually was much easier with the little guides already on there. Wow. Those are so close. There. One of these across just so we can see. That rail is cut at a bit of an angle. That's kind of odd. I would like to see a sharp 90 on it. Go. That looks like we're right on the money. These guys are where they need to be. Tighten it up. That one. Yeah. Sorry. There we go. Once the fight me, we'll go on to the next one. This is so difficult. Actually, we can take that guide off now. Looking over and backwards. Go. There we go. Take those two guys off. Should be done with them. Yep. That bracket works perfect for that. They look nice and even. Let's get the last one of our end stops on. Once again, almost perfect sized holes. Just enough to require you to use a wrench to get it through. My perfect would be it's a little back pressure on you, little resistance, but if you push hard, it'll pop right through. That is, I'm working with plastic parts, my favorites. Well, that looks really good. As something that takes a while to learn, you start prototyping to designing your own parts. 3mm hole will not work for 3mm screw because you need some tolerances. There we go. It's on there nice and like that. So look at that. That was not too bad. That's actually a much easier project since it used standard T-nuts. Don't need anything special. So let's go ahead and get this belt tensioner back on. Whoops. Get the belt the right way. That would have been 100% tension all the time. Go. I remember this thing was a pain in the butt last time. Because you're going at these holes blind. Oh, there we go. Well, that one lined up. It's a good sign. So far, not too bad of a conversion, guys. If it makes a difference in the print results, not too many hiccups. One I caused myself, and the fact that this motor bracket actually saves you from having to put on the last, I guess, bump stop, not in stop, either or. Which was originally the in stop bracket, but I'm running the sensorless homing, so pulled it off there. Save some life on it. And since we did the Big Tree Tech E3 Mini version 3 upgrade, I'm very happy with this printer. I was happy before with the stock 4.2.2 controller board, which was 32-bit, but still the 4988 drivers. But now just having the fans only kick on once something starts happening, like the extruder fan once it hits above 50, or the controller fan not until motors start moving. Just so nice, so quiet. I get a good 30 minutes into prints before I realized, oh man, I hope I have a good first layer. And I did. Right. Go ahead and put this belt tensioner back on. Although we'll probably end up having to take it off later to make something fit. Whoop, there's the nut for that. So that is a spare. That is a bad one. I also found 4 other nuts that will fit these 5mm bolts for the actual bed mount. We'll find out how those work out. I'm on the fence about which ones to use. I still think I'm going to have to cut down all 4 bolts, which isn't a big deal. For any of you who've never done it, you can do it with a hacksaw, much easier with a Dremel. Key trick is you need to put some nuts, hopefully more than one if you have them, but at least one nut further up on the bolt than where you plan to cut, so that way you can pull that nut off and fix the threads. I actually recommend taking a file and filing the edges of the bolt, get all the nice sharp edges gone, and then backing that nut off, and it rethreads it for you. And now you have a 100% usable bolt. Alright, got that in. Which is what I did with this guy, because if y'all remember, this is one of those super long bolts I had, and sticking in way far out the side. I actually cut it on the printer with a hacksaw, not with the Dremel. Just hung the edge off the desk and went, well, like that way across it. Back the nut off. Perfectly good bolt. I eventually do think I am going to replace this 2 flat bearings with a actual pulley. I just like the way the belts fit better. I feel better about it. Is that wrong? Go. Got my belt twisted somehow. Right. So going about like there, but we'll hang these off the front. Right. So all that gets to go away. Well, this can go away. Back up so we don't lose them. Actually, they are someplace else. I was responsible and put them back up. I know this guy did come out of here. Our 8 millimeters. Go. I'll go ahead and leave all this up here just in case. Even though I'm pretty sure I think we're done with it. Get it out of your camera shot. This gets to go away. Alright. We should be able to go up. This gets to go in the garbage. So what did I do with that? There it is. Still haven't dumped everything off yet, but it is coming. I promise. First off, let's kind of see how this just dry fits on here. Well, there's a good sign. Interesting amount of play. I bet that is because the side that had the eccentric nuts. Loosen that in. Oh, bring it in. Ooh, this might have been a feature. I might not have complained so soon. Yep, that was exactly what that is. That actually works out pretty nice. So you will attach the one that has the perfectly sized holes all the way down. The one where the eccentric nut holes were, which are a little bigger, give you some play, leave those loose. And then you can just pop it down right on top, cinch them in, tie it on down. Now we will probably have to take these all the way out because we still need to put 4 screws each on each of these H blocks, I believe they were called. Yep. And it will not move. But that does answer my other questions because I wasn't sure what side the eccentric nuts were on to line up with the belt. And it looks like they are on the side closest to the LCD. So yeah, oh boy. Hear those bolts hitting the rails. Yep, definitely got to shorten them up. Oh, no, can't even play with it because they are just right on the rail. So that is a downside. And that means it's a one-way conversion because you're not going back once you cut these off. All right. I do like how that looks. It's nice and fat. I wonder what that's going to sound like when I'm trying to sleep. Couldn't hear the wheels. They were getting a bit of wear. And just drop everything. As you can see, there's quite a bit of buildup. The edges of the wheels have been rubbed down from the V-slot from being tight enough to actually keep that thing steady. So, all right. So let me go cut these down. And I'll be right back. And then we'll put the nuts on it. Stick this guy on here. Throw a belt back on there. Put the bed back on it. Hopefully. Be right back. Alright, we are back. Well, after some head scratching and some butt scratching, that's what really helped. Don't smell that thing. Don't smell this finger. Alright. So, instead of using the original bolts that came with it, I had some 5mm by 50mm, or sorry, M5 by 50s, and some of these nuts. I discovered 2 problems. Well, for one, I didn't want to tear up the original bolts, and I did not know how tough they were. I've actually cut these down before, and they're not too bad, so I was like, well, that'll make it a little easier. And then I also realized if I mount them inverted, since these brackets have slightly concave in there, it sits in there very nice. Tons of clearance. And then the other problem I noticed that on this side, on the side where the eccentric nuts went, These original nylocks are just too small, and I did not have a washer that fit. So we're going with the flange nuts. Seems to be working pretty good. I've gone ahead and put the 4 M3 by 10 millimeter screws in each side, so you don't have to watch me drop them for hours. And let's try and mount it. We want to make sure we get this on the right direction. So we'll clear the motors back here. Nope. It goes. I think that way. Wow, I really should have paid attention to the plate. No, that hits the motor. That clears. I'm confused as into why this plate is not the same on at least 2 sides. It's different all over. That might be a problem. Looks like it's gonna have to go like so. Yep, has to go like so. Everything's on upside down. Let's flip this around. Sorry, get as much of that on camera as possible. Come on, nut. There we go. Try one more. Oh, it's a little tough. You can see just how much play is in this hole. But looks like it is a feature. Let's get this on. Go. We're going to loosely tighten these nuts down. We're going to wait till we get the actual whole carriage mounted to the blocks before we tighten those all the way. Actually, I want to loosen that just a hair. There we go. That one too. This one's going to have 0 play in it, so we can tighten it down all the way. Right. Let's see how that fits. Hopefully this gives us the clearance that we need. go. Let's go set that low. And that now clears the motor. All right. So there's the secret to that one. This is going to be tough. Turn this way. See if I can get any of this on a camera shot for you, but doubtful. No clue how I'm gonna line these little bitty screws up with these little bitty holes. Actually, no, I don't have it. All my bits are missing. Trying to kneel down on the floor. See if this helps. Like it's just barely too tight. Go. Keep that the right direction. That looks better. I think that did it. Let's see. No. I have to take a bit camera shot to see this. That might help. Only gonna take one, but ooh. We snagged a hole there. Nope, she did not. Let's actually try this side first. Maybe we will get lucky. This is going to be the most frustrating part of this build. I can already tell. Well, ow. Let's layer on her side. There we go. It's a little easier. Not a lot, but a little. Blocks feels pretty centered. All these screws are the right size. See, that block just keeps walking around on me. Fortunately, I don't see any easy way around this. Trying to extend the bolt just slightly. Hopefully it'll catch in the hole. No? Let's back off these other two. Well, I think we're going to back off one of these screws. Was not expecting this part to be the most difficult. Maybe if... Try this. I'm gonna move one block completely out of the way. Go. Okay. You can see the hole in there. Should be lined up. Ooh. We got it. So there's the trick. Leave at least one of these out so you can see the holes for alignment. See if this one hits it. There we go, that one went straight in. Look down here. Oh no. We are still floating straight off. What is going on? Again. No, it's definitely not in the hole. It's just putting pressure on it. That is so weird. It's on, but that is not flush mounted. Now that is very tight. We're gonna do this. I think this is the easy way to do this. Maybe. Pull this guy all the way off, which is probably how this was meant to be done. Right. There we go. Yeah, we definitely have an issue going on here. Okay. Well, there is part of our problem. All right, welcome back, everybody. That was learning experience. There was some head scratching and some butt scratching. Smell that finger? Didn't get anywhere till the butt scratching, of course. Learned a few things. Number one, I don't know if this is a problem on all of these linear rails or just this manufacturer, but the bolt holes go all the way through. So inadvertently, as I was screwing these on with a little bit of plastic shavings that had come off, had worked their way in there. Gone ahead and cleaned those out. But that is something to look for if you are trying to install linear rails. Also, looks like I could put grease right in through those holes. That's, I guess, kind of good to know. That was the first minor problem. Second problem, I decided to take some of these M5 by 50s and chop them down to about yay big. I guess that's right about 10 millimeter. Let's find out. Right at 15 millimeters worth of thread. And those fit really nice. They look good. Problem being is the heads, when mounted on here, actually hit the rail. Cannot get this lined out without those hitting the rails. I went over the part again on Thingiverse. There's no description of which bolts to use. So, long story short, I had to cut the original bolts down. So, I have cut them down. I used one of the leftover aluminum spacers and two of these flanged nuts that I plan on using. Get me the right length and then just cut them off with a hacksaw. It was not fun. So let's go ahead and try and mount the first one of these on here. So the reason we had to go to the stock screws that came with this, really these need like a flat top screw that's angled on the sides that goes in. If you can see, they're slightly recessed. These just barely clear. But that is the solution that we got without having to drill holes. I looked around at some other mounts too, did not find anything good. So this is what we are going with. So let's try to get the first one mounted. Make sure this works. There we go. Feels like it's going in fine. Oh yeah, getting tight. The other thing I did was I went ahead and worked these screws around a few times just to barely open the holes just a tad bit more. Clear out some more, any more of that plastic debris that would end up hitting them. And there we are. Still hitting. Okay. Not going to work. Spent all that time cutting those screws down for nothing. Yeah, they are just barely rubbing. I cannot believe that. Okay. Let's take this back off. Really so close. See if I can crank these down a little further. Nope, does not look it. Well, poop. Looks like we're getting different screws. So, 2 failures. It is what it is. So, we will find some new screws. And we will order them. And we'll get back to this. Grr. All right, we're back. And different path. Ended up getting some M5 by 16 millimeter. Amazon special. And those actually fit absolutely perfect. I think I would prefer 17 if I could get it, but I did not see them. I think the next step up was 20, and I didn't want to have to cut any more bolts. So let's try and get this on here, see what happens. We will start with this side. Definitely feels better. Actually, let's start with this side. And I have these bolts set right flush at the bottom. M3s are so tiny. That's feeling good. There we go. And clears, sitting flush. Turn this slightly. Try and not drop my heat bed right off the back of the desk. Oh, I'm sorry. And that camera froze. Guess I'm not sorry. Can never have 3. All right. Tis what it is. We're gonna roll with it. Don't know why I didn't start with these first. Make the other side easy. Really looking good. On to the last one. Watch, this will be the one that doesn't want to screw in. There we go. Side is still a little dirty. Gonna have to clean him out nice and good. We can at least get this together. Oh, it's definitely in the track. Yep. Alright, let's try this side. Start with the tops. Top screws. The one thing I am noticing is the this actual printed bracket hits these printed end stops, so the whole actual block doesn't have to hit, just this one. Wonder if I lose any travel over that. These are 300, so it should work. Should have plenty of travel. I think I could have gone smaller or shorter. not want to get in there. This one is in. It's not all the way in. There we go. Oh. Double check, make sure the screw spins freely all the way once it's seated. Oh yeah, there's our problem. Let's work that through a little bit. Yow! Mommy! Hole is just slightly too long to use actual handle. There we go. That opened that one up just a little bit. Yeah, that one feels just as tight. Alright. So, 2 valid tips so far. Get the flathead screws. And has worked these screws a little bit so you can actually spin them once they're actually seated themselves all the way in the bracket. I'll help you get it nice and tight on that block. If I can get that Allen head back in the bolt. There we go. That was hard. Alright, that's spinning. Let's back him out. Do the same thing, these lower two. And this one I can use the tool the correct way, but I can only get half turns. Oh yeah, that one's already loose. Yeah, that one's loose too. Tedious, tedious. All right. Get that in there first. Get him on the block. Seems to just be falling into place. Screw has definitely cut the threads. There we go. Yeah, that worked much better. Ooh. Got that one easy. Oh yeah. Cooking with Propania. There's 3. Uno más. This is going to be the hardest to get to because the case is right there. Electronics case. There we go. All right, so we're done with that Allen wrench. Get the belt out of the way. Drop this guy on. There we go, lines up. Clears the motor, that's the right direction. belt on so I don't forget. Push the excess back down in there. Alright, I'm going to use these 4 little flange nuts. It looks perfectly aligned. There's 3. There you go. 4. Take the old C-wrench here. Give it a little bit of the cross-tightening action. Wow. Wish it'd been this painless the first time. All right. Get this heat bed back in here. Actually, let's get the heat bed out of the way and try and fish our belt back through. Oh, cool, we didn't lose all of it. Oh, it is twisted on us. I'm trying to feed it in the wrong way. There we go. There we go. Come on, get in the slot. There we go. Have our belt back in there. Ooh, that's really... Wow, seems like I'm not gonna have to do much belt tension at all. All right, let's get this back in here. Let's go ahead and, whoa, raise our x-axis up. Spin this a little bit. There we go. Let our bolts scratch up our plate there. Get that grease off. Let's get our 3 spacers that are off and our 4 wheels. Whoop. You stay. Looks like we're done with both of these guys. All right. There's 1. There's 2. Three. Of course, 4 is still already in the bracket. With the cable strain. There we go. Bed is back in. Let's put our wheels on. There's 2. Good time to clean this guy off while we're here. Lid. little bit of flex of filament in there. There's 3. That was 4. Ooh, boy, everybody's going live on Twitch. Is our flex plate back on? And there we go. And I just lost something. Oh, oil bottle. It can leak all over the floor. So there we have it. Ender 3. Dual linear rail conversion. We will throw it back in its enclosure and do some test prints on it. We'll see how it is. Make sure we're clearing there. Yes, we are clearing. See a little bit of score lines back here on the back of the power supply mount where I guess heat bed had come over. Where the flex plate had come over. I do like it. Looks good. Let's check the rear. Yep, we did do it the right direction. We have enough travel there. Did we lose any travel on the Y? It does appear we lost right about 10 millimeter. So I might have to slide those rails slightly forward. Yep. Okay, so let's throw it back in the enclosure. We'll see how she prints. Then we'll find out if we actually did lose any of our Y travel and if we have to modify Clipper to make up for it. Or if a better option is to slide these rails slightly more forward. Do look like I have enough room. I could do it. And then I would just have to put my 4th rail stop on here. So there we have it. Let's get it in there. We'll get some prints off. We'll take a look at one. We'll see how it goes. All right, catch y'all next time.